Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Daryl.
I'm Michael.
And this is Big Bang Talks Comics. This is episode 94. We're glad you're here with us, watching or listening on our podcast. We thank you for it.
Yeah, we're always glad, man.
And we're here to talk new books this week and also other things involving comics, including This Week in Comic History, reviews and such. So please stay tuned and watch. And before we move on to our comics this week, into our next segment, we want to invite you. This is your last chance. Today is the last day to get 50% off all DC Rebirth titles. 50% off, 20 books.
You need to remind me to pay for mine today.
You need to pay for yours. $20, 20 books for $30. All DC Rebirth titles in June, 50% off. Do it now. Today's the last day. Prepay now at Big Bang in store. Do it now.
Do it now.
And after you do it now, we'll be right back. Hey, true believers, this is Daryl, and this week in comic history, we have 3 major appearances, and the first one began on April 17th. His name's Eric Brooks, but you know him better as Blade, the Vampire Hunter. Eric Brooks was born in a whorehouse in the Soho neighborhood of London, England in 1929. Eric's mother, Tara Brooks, was a prostitute at Madame Vanity's brothel. Whoa! Yeah, this is definitely from 1973. But when Tara experienced severe labor complications, a doctor was summoned who is in actuality Deacon Frost. And we all know who Deacon Frost is if you've seen Blade, the Vampire Hunter, the movie. A vampire who feasted on her during Eric's birth and killed her. However, this inadvertently passed along certain enzymes in his own blood to the infant, Eric Brooks. This resulted in Eric's quasi-vampiric abilities, including a greatly prolonged lifespan and the ability to sense supernatural creatures, as well as an immunity to complete vampirism. Brooks' fellow prostitutes drove off Frost before he could kill the infant as well. Eric became an Olympic-level athlete and a formidable hand-to-hand combatant with an expertise in edged weapons such as knives, daggers, so notable that it earned him the nickname Blade. Blade was introduced as a supporting character in The Tomb of Dracula number 10 on April 17, 1973. And thanks to the films and even the Spider-Man the Animated Series, we were introduced to a character called Whistler, who we later saw in the films starring Wesley Snipes. Now, on the rumor mill, it's said to be where Blade has a daughter, and there's a new book written by Tim Seeley that they've delayed. Keep your eyes on it on the horizon. If you love Blade, and word on the street could be where Wesley Snipes may be reprising his role. Keep your ear to the ground and eyes open. As always, Excelsior.
We're back, and we're talking DC Comics.
Action Comics number 51 comes out this week. The Super League storyline continues. Peter Tomasi is behind it. Yeah. He's the main Superman writer going into Rebirth. Which, by the way, there's that rumor of all the Rebirth titles having a long 2-year arc.
Yeah.
Interesting rumor.
Yeah. Huh.
Wonder how that's going to play out. But Action
like it.
Yeah. Jeff Johns is behind it. It's got to be good. Action Comics 51 Super League, the new 52 Superman is dying. He's forming a Super League of superpowered beings. Batman's in on it. How? You got to read to find out.
Yeah. Then we got Flash number 50.
Flash, he's on the run. He's on the run. He's being hunted down by Central City.
By the rogues.
They're deputized police officers.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Do you know anything big that's supposed to happen in this issue?
I don't know if anything big's supposed to happen in this issue, but I think number 50 usually is a big deal.
Yeah, yeah. Number 50, it's a landmark.
It usually is a very big landmark. Of course, they're gonna end the books and restart them with new number 1s. And Joshua Williamson comes on the book, which I'm really happy about.
I'm happy about. The Speed Force Storm sounds kind of silly, but we're gonna get Godspeed out of it.
Godspeed. Brian
awesome.
Regan. It's a joke with Brian Regan. If you look it up, Brian Regan, Godspeed. Anyway.
No, I know the Joker.
Anyway, also, speaking of The Flash, there's a trade paperback that comes out this week. The Flash by Grant Morrison and Mark Miller.
And this was like back when they actually worked together. They don't do that no more.
They don't do that anymore. I don't know if there's a reason why, but they used to work together and collaborate. This is where the Black Flash is introduced, the Death Flash, basically, where he goes to get he claims all the speedsters and takes them back to the Speed Force. And, anyway. So they also take on Crackle, and guess what? Wally West is confined to a wheelchair. Who's Wally West? Gasp! You mean that Wally West that DC hopefully will acknowledge? We'll see. But anyway, Wally West is confined to a wheelchair, and how is he the fastest man alive when he's confined to a wheelchair?
He can be fast, man. Maybe he can just wheel himself really fast through the streets.
Is that like Wolverine calling Professor X Wheels?
No, I mean he's still got super speed. His arms can move super fast. Man, he could
Actually,
he could probably wheel himself across the ocean.
yeah, when he's the Flash and he's using the Speed Force, that's when he can run. But anyway, check out The Flash by Grant Morrison and Mark Miller. Also, Superman, Lois and Clark, number 7. This book I dropped at number 2, and then I quickly changed my mind. I was so wrong. This book actually is so pivotal to the future of Superman and the DC rebirth.
Yes, it is.
So anyway, Superman, Lois and Clark continues. You've got Inner Gang, you got Lois, you got pre-New 52 Superman, you've got their son, John Kent. Is he going to have powers, or John White? Is he going to have powers? Is he not going to have powers? Of course he's going to have powers because he's going to be the new Superboy.
Super Sons.
Or he's the new Superboy, or whatever name they're going to give him.
Well, it's going to be Super Sons, the book.
Where's Connor Kent? Is he Superboy?
I didn't like New 52 Connor, so it's kind of like
I didn't
Con L, so it's kind of like.
Well, they did that pre-New 52.
Yeah, but was he actually called Connor in the book?
He was called Con L, and then his civilian identity was Connor Kent.
Yeah, I just didn't like Superboy. I don't know why I kept buying it for so long.
New 52 Superboy was not good.
No.
Jeff Johns Superboy was fantastic, where he's a clone. Half of him is Lex Luthor, half of him is Superman.
Yeah.
Which interesting dynamic.
Back to our list
Titans
here,
Hunt, number 7.
Titans Hunt, number 7. This book has been fantastic. What's the name of this villain that's kind of gathered them all together? I can't remember.
You mean the hero or the villain?
No, this bad guy. That's
can't tell you.
I don't
Spoilers.
remember. He's like bringing them all together, and he has Mal. He's playing some kind of music that's kind of gotten. I didn't know Mal Duncan's power had to do with music. But it's really good. I mean, it's awesome, Dan Abnett.
Awesome Dan Abnett.
Awesome Dan Abnett.
Who also writes,
awesome comes first.
Who also writes Aquaman 51, which also comes out this week.
And he writes Hercules.
Hercules is must read, by the way.
He writes all kinds of awesome
Still waiting
stuff.
for Dan Abnett and Katie Kubert to write me back. I just gave Hercules number 6 huge praise, but that's Marvel.
I still haven't read it. I need to read it.
All right, Martian Manhunter number 11.
Martian Manhunter, dude, it's the best book DC's doing right now. Like, easily the best book DC's doing. Like, I love that book.
Yes, I agree. Robbie Williams writes it. He also writes the new Suicide Squad book coming out. Check that out. Poison Ivy, Cycle of Life and Death, number 4. Robin, Son of Batman, 11. Superman, American Alien, 6. And Wonder Woman, number 51, are top DC picks this week.
420.
If there's any more, take a look at them. If there's any more, take a look at them. We'll be right back. Brother. Ugh. Hey, true believers, this is Daryl, and this is another key appearance in This Week in Comic Book History. On April 20th, 1971, in a storyline called The Daughter of the Demon, creators Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams brought one of Batman's greatest foes and villains into our lives and into our hearts. Well, hopefully not into our hearts, because that would be a bad thing. But this villain is none other than Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul is an international criminal mastermind whose ultimate goal is a world in perfect balance. He believes that the best way to achieve this balance is to eliminate most of humanity. Ah, that's us. Boo. Ra's al Ghul was born over 600 years before his first appearance in Batman comics to a tribe of nomads in Arabia. Ra's left his tribe to live in the city where he pursued life as a researcher. There he became a physician and married a woman named Sora. Ra's discovered the secret of the Lazarus Pit, reservoirs of rejuvenating chemicals that restore the dead and dying to life, and saves a dying prince by lowering him into it. This drives the prince insane, spurring him to murder Sora. The Sultan, however, declares Ra's guilty of the crime and sentences him to death. Ra's is set free by an orphan who feels that he owes Ra's a debt. Ra's sends the prince contaminated fabrics and infects the prince with a deadly virus. Oh no! When the Sultan comes to ask Ra's to cure the prince again, Ra's kills them both. Ra's then leads his tribe to raze the city to the ground and kill all of its inhabitants, and declares himself, Ra's al Ghul, the demon's head. He regards Batman as his worthiest opponent, addressing him as detective out of respect for his intellectual brilliance, and has frequently sought to make the Dark Knight his successor. He is one of the few criminals to have deduced his secret identity as Bruce Wayne and keeps silent out of respect for Batman. And it probably doesn't hurt that his daughter's in love with Batman, Talia. So, In this week in comic book history, we were brought Ra's al Ghul, or if you love the animated series, Ra's al Ghul. This week in comic book history, let's celebrate Batman's one of his greatest foes, Ra's al Ghul. And we're back, and we're talking independent comics. We have Caitlin here. So we're talking independent comics. We've got a few books we definitely want to mention first thing. Number one, I want to mention Joyride number 1.
Yes. Lansing and Kelly. They're the same guys who made Hacktivist. They worked on Batman and Robin Eternal together. They're just some great dudes. And they made a new book. It's Joyride. It's like their brainchild. They loved it. It's about the future. In the future, the government sucks and controls everything.
And the Earth sucks.
It's just sucky. There is space travel, but everyone's controlled. So it's like, it's dumb. Everything's dumb. And then this one girl, she gets like a transmission or something. So she's like, yep, we're just going to take a spaceship, go on a joyride, and leave Earth because Earth sucks and go do stuff.
I'm sitting here like, stop making this book sound cool. I read enough as is.
I think I'm going to be picking up number 1. Yeah.
Apparently the book is great, but in the book, the Earth sucks. So you definitely want to read Joyride number 1.
I mean, that's understandable. It's the Earth.
Yeah. Also, Department H from Dark Horse Comics, writer Matt Kent, who's on my favorite book, Ninjak.
That sounds like a cool book.
It's an underwater, deep-sea murder mystery. Deep-sea creatures, there's a murder, there's secrets revealed, it's dark and it's cold. Department H, written by Matt Kent, who writes Ninjak. There's probably death, and it's a murder mystery. You should check it out.
So
it's a play on words for the title.
To the file.
Also, Divinity II number 1 comes from Valiant, sold out, and Divinity 1 sold out. It's the space race creates a communist Superman.
I still need to read Divinity 1, but I've already added Divinity 2 to my file. I'm ready for it. I still got to read 1, though.
Also, Dark Souls was just released, the video game, and they also have
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3. But anyway, yes, thank you, Caitlin. Dark Souls number 1 comes out from Titan Comics. If you're a big fan of the video games, this expands the universe. You want to check it out. Also, Aftershock.
Aftershock, Black Eyed Kids. No, what was this
I was
book
reading
about?
the solicitation. It read kind of like a old school radio serial. It's like, you hear a knock on the door. There's these kids. They want to borrow your phone to call. They come inside. You get filled with fear. And then you realize these kids, their eyes are pitch black. And you can't do anything about it now. They're in the house. It's like a horror comic. It just read like the solicitation read like a radio serial. And it sounded really cool.
Put the phone down. Also, we've got a lot of other favorites. Caitlin, you got some more favorites that are coming out this week.
Yes. Jonesy number 3 comes out. Jonesy is a great book by Sam Humphries. It's about this girl in high school just trying to do her. She also has the power to make anybody fall in love with anything. Except for herself / other people with her. Yeah. And Cupid. It's really great. It's just really cute. Lumberjanes number 25. It's actually an oversized, I believe, issue. It's a big anniversary issue for Lumberjanes. Great book. I can't talk about how great Lumberjane is enough. It's about a group of girls at camp. Camp's kind of magical a little bit. The first story arc, because originally it was a miniseries. The first story arc was kind of like mythology a little bit, and now they're just going into just about everything, and it's great. It's got, it teaches you some like great life lessons and all sorts of stuff. And then also, my last book is Red Thorn number 6. Red Thorn is a great book by Vertigo. It's about this Scottish demigod guy. The main character is technically this chick who has, like, you realize, what gets revealed is that she has, like, some ancient mystical blood back in her past, you know, kind of like how Inhumans have Kree blood in their history. So anything she draws comes to life. And that's kind of how he got free from his bonds, because he sent her dreams or something, and she ended up drawing him, so he got free, and now he's like completely rewriting time, destroying all the old gods, becoming the best god in Scotland. It's great.
This is Red Thorn?
Yeah.
Wow, it's an interesting concept.
Sound awesome.
Vertigo, people, read it. All right, Michael, you got something you want to mention real quick.
I mean, there's tons of great books coming out this week. I mean, East of West 25 it's back from its hiatus. Ninjak 13, I haven't got all the way caught up, but I mean, that's
Bloodshot Reborn number 12.
Bloodshot Reborn number 12. I need to catch up with that. Huck number 6, the final issue of Huck. It's been great, you know. Tokyo Ghost number 6. Really excited for Tokyo Ghost. This is the start of a new arc. The first arc was fantastic. I'm really excited to see where they take the book in this new arc.
I've heard some good things about Tokyo Ghost.
Tokyo Ghost is great.
Tons of other books coming out. Check these out.
Cry Havoc number 4. Cry Havoc's Really good book.
Godzilla of Oblivion, Grumpy Cat, Disney Princesses.
Star Trek Manifest Destiny, where they battle the Klingons. It's a big anniversary for Star Trek. There are fans out there. Check it out. There's tons of books. Look at all these, and we'll be right back. Okay. Also, comic book fans, this week in comic book history, we have probably the biggest ever event in comic book history. Why? Because on April 18th, 1938, this character first appeared in a little-known comic called Action Comics #1. He fights for truth, justice, and the American way. He is none other than Superman. Superman is widely considered an American cultural icon. The Superman character was created by writer Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster. The origin story of Superman relates that he was born Kal-El on the planet Krypton before being rocketed to Earth as an infant by his scientist father Jor-El, moments before Krypton's destruction. Discovered and adopted by a Kansas farmer and his wife, the child is raised as Clark Kent, imbued with a strong moral compass. Very early on, he started to display superhuman abilities, which upon reaching maturity, he resolved to use for the benefit of humanity. That's a good thing. In the original Siegel and Schuster story, Superman's personality is rough and aggressive. Superman in the comics of the 1930s is unconcerned about the harm his strength may cause. When Whitney Ellsworth instituted a code of conduct for his characters to follow, banning Superman from ever killing, the character was softened and given a sense of idealism and humanitarianism. Having lost his home world of Krypton, Superman is very protective of Earth and especially of Clark Kent's family and friends. Superman first appeared in Action Comics #1 in 1938, and we have all the Siegels and the Schuster families to thank for this great creation. And if you've seen Batman vs. Superman, he has that code of conduct where he does not kill, unless you've seen Man of Steel, which, well, ask Zack Snyder. But on this day, this week, and this day in particular in comic history, we were given Superman, the hero of heroes. Whether he wears his underwear on the outside or he doesn't, he's always wearing the red, blue, and yellow. Alright, we're back. We're talking Marvel Comics. This week, we've got a lot of Avengers Standoff tie-ins. Have you been reading Avengers Standoff, Michael?
I have been reading Avengers Standoff. Yes, I have.
We talked about it last week. Well, this week, we've got Captain America, Sam Wilson, #8. New Avengers, #10. All tie into Captain America.
New Avengers, like what's been going on there is really cool. It's crossed over with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
What's so cool about it? Tell the people.
Like, okay, you have Rick Jones, Whisper, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Quake, Deathlock, Melinda May, Mockingbird, all of them. They have Rick Jones. And the New Avengers, they want to rescue Rick Jones because they're seeing what he's doing is not a bad thing. And they attack the helicarrier and they try to rescue Rick Jones, and you have a big battle. You know, there was a really cool moment. Power Man like goes to put Simmons to sleep, and he's like, "Dude, something's wrong with her chi. You might want to get that checked. Like, something's really off about her." So I'm kind of they planted a little seed of like a mystery there, and then
Isn't Simmons dying?
I don't know what it is.
Yes, she is.
But something with Power Man.
I think she is.
Power Man and Deathlock battle it out, and then Quake and Songbird, they're like kind of canceling each other out with their powers, and like all of a sudden they're up in each other's face, and Songbird whispers something into Quake's ear, and then they keep battling and stuff, and then they take Rick Jones and they escape with Rick Jones, but then Quake tells them like, Songbird whispered something in my ear. She said family values, and it was funny because Deathlock was like, well, besides like a early 90s reference, what are you trying to say here? Is like family values. That's only a phrase used by S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that are deep undercover. Ooh. So Songbird.
She's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
She's a traitor. She's a dirty traitor.
She's not a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent?
She's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but she's a traitor to the New Avengers.
I already knew that part.
I'm with the New Avengers.
All right.
You're with S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Avengers Standoff. Speaking of Captain
it's
America.
It's awesome.
Captain America Civil War. Avengers Standoff. Should be reading it. Get all the tie-ins while you can. Steve Rogers is back as Cap, but Sharon Carter is still old. What's up with that?
Sharon, Agent 13 still old?
From my understanding.
I didn't know she was old.
Yeah, she got. Oh man, you didn't read Rick Mender's run? All right,
No,
that's
I
a
didn't.
whole other conversation. Apparently, it's also Deadpool week.
Apparently, it's Deadpool week and it's Nick Spencer week, which you're not going to get any complaints here.
Deadpool number 10, Deadpool Mercs for the Money number 3, which just got announced as a new ongoing coming
Yes.
out. And Marvel even said that those characters in that book will eventually spin off into their own things, like Solo and Stingray. Check it out. They didn't say that officially, but some of those characters will spin off.
I can't do it. My wallet can't take no more.
Spidey Deadpool number 4.
I'm loving this book.
And I want to mention Hyperion number 2. I read number 1. I'm hoping number 2 improves a little better. But imagine Superman grounded, Superman type character driving a truck. But it's not Superman. It's Hyperion. He only has 3 core values.
I'm going to be honest here. I skipped it.
I was going to say, number 1 was not fantastic, but I don't give up on the book yet. Hercules won me over. Mockingbird won me over. And I think this book could improve better. It needs better art, I will say that.
Mockingbird too.
Anyway, check out Hyperion number 2. Karnak number 3. Finally.
Karnak.
The man who sees the flaw in all things.
Karnak number 3.
Warren, not for the weak, Ellis.
Yeah, definitely. And then we got Mighty Thor number 6 from Jason Aaron. Man, Mighty Thor is one of my favorite books right now.
Yeah.
It really is. And
Uncanny Inhumans number 7.
Uncanny Inhumans is another one of my favorite books.
Charles Soule.
Man, Marvel's killing it.
And I wanted to mention Silk number 7. Silk number 7 continues the Spider-Woman storyline. Who is Silk? Who is the other Silk messing with this Earth Silk's life? Anyway, check it out. Spider-Woman, actually, I read Spider-Woman Alpha. It was actually really good. The art was okay, but the book was good.
Cool. Plus, we got Power Man and Iron Fist number 3, a.k.a. the book that should be included in this Nick Spencer week.
Yes.
Because Nick Spencer really needs to write Power Man and Iron Fist.
But what's wrong with David Walker? He does a great
there's
job.
nothing wrong with it,
You
man.
just want Nick Spencer to write everybody.
No, I don't want him. I want him to write characters and
Nick
books that
Spencer.
I feel he would be great on.
He's great with criminals and bad guys. I'll tell you that right now.
I think he would be great with Power Man and Iron Fist. He's been great with Captain America, Sam Wilson.
You want him on Flash? You want him on Power Man?
I said if he went to DC, I would want him on Flash because he would kill it with the Rogues, and that's just.
I think he would do a great job with the Rogues.
But he's doing great with not only the villains in Captain America, Sam Wilson. He's doing great with Sam Wilson himself, and he's also doing great with Ant-Man. And the great thing about his book with Ant-Man is he's got characters straddling the line between hero, villain, criminal, good guy, all that.
That's where he succeeds.
Yeah, and I think he would do really great with Power Man and Iron Fist. I also think he'd do good with Howard the Duck or Guardians of the Galaxy, but
and the Avengers and Spider-Man and Batman and Superman and Teen Titans.
It ends at those books.
Check out these
Teen Titans or Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Well, that would be ideal. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I feel like them right now. Check out the rest of these books, and we'll be right back. Shut up, Beard. Oh, gosh. Hey, true believers. This week in comic history, we had one of the biggest debuts on April 18th, 1939, in a little-known comic known as Detective Comics number 27. The hero, or the character that first appeared? Well, maybe you've heard of him. We like to call him Batman. The first Batman story, The Case of the Chemical Syndicate, was published in Detective Comics number 27 on April 18, 1939. In this story, Commissioner Gordon relaxes at home, entertaining his young socialite friend Bruce Wayne. Wayne asks if anything exciting has happened lately, and Gordon explains that a fellow called the Batman is puzzling him. A call comes to Gordon from the police department that a man has been murdered, and fingerprints on the knife shows that it was the man's son. While still at the crime scene, Commissioner Gordon receives a call from Steve Crane, one of the victim's business partners, who claims there's been a threat on his life. No sooner has Crane gotten off the phone with police than an armed assailant shoots him. Gasp! Meanwhile, Rogers, one of the two surviving business partners, pays a call on Stryker, the other living partner. Jennings, Stryker's manservant, suddenly puts Rogers in a gas chamber. What? Batman arrives, breaks the chamber with a monkey wrench, of all things, and tackles Jennings. Then Stryker arrives, then tries to stab Rogers, but to no avail. Stryker tries to shoot Batman. Batman gives a punch that knocks Stryker into an acid tank. Batman responds, quote, a fitting end for his kind. Commissioner Gordon then talks to Bruce about this case. Gordon notes to himself that Bruce Wayne must have a boring life. Then you see the wealthy Bruce Wayne walk into the closet and come out dressed as Batman. On April 18th, this was a big day in comic book history. If not for this day, we would not have the Caped Crusader, the dynamic duo, and all the wealth that the Batman Rogues Gallery has in his supporting characters. Celebrate this week, and remember, on this day in comic book history, we had Batman.
Okay.
No, my hand's not okay. I hit your beard or whatever that thing. What do you call that thing? Does it have a name?
Like, I don't even know what to call it. It's probably like punching lashes. Hair or something. Is that what you call it?
I don't know what. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Daryl.
I'm Michael.
This is Big Bang Talks Comics, episode 94. Do not miss episode number 100. We're going to be giving away prizes. You must watch the whole thing. We're going to be giving away prizes. All kinds of stuff. I got posters, I got variants, I got other stuff I'm going to throw out. And we might even have a few more surprises in store. And it's going to be a very different show. Episode 100. Check it out. I'm Daryl.
I'm Michael.
And my hand is okay. I'm healing quickly. And this is Big Bang Toys, Comics, and Games. Big Bang Talks Comics.
I can see it from here. It's already swelling.
It is. We got to go.
Yeah, we got to get to work. We got to do something around here.
Don't forget, as always,
we got them.
visit BobbyWing.com for more information and check out our podcast, and we will see you soon.
Oh, not again, man. You're hurting yourself. Don't do that.
Oh, not again, man. You're hurting yourself. Don't do that.
I got a really big tongue ring.
Dude, don't drive the ladies crazy. That's terrible.
Hey, man, it makes my tongue strong. It's like I'm lifting weights every time I'm talking.
That's an outtake.